Welcome to Get Real with Eddie, where we delve deep into the world of real estate with your host, the designated managing broker of Exit Real Estate Specialist, Eddie Ruettiger.
And good morning, WJOL listeners. It is time for Get Real with Eddie, featuring me, Eddie Ruettiger of Exit Real Estate Specialist. And here in studio, back from her mountain climbing exposition, is Nancy Valley.
Here I am.
How was your mountain climbing?
Well,
that's where we told everybody you were at.
Okay, well, I slid down.
Nice.
Does that count?
It does.
Oh, okay.
Here, we have a special guest today in studio with us from Midland State Bank is Chris Marconi. Chris, how are you?
Good morning. I'm great. How are you?
I'm well. Chris's NMLS number is 755874 for those that are wondering. So Chris and Midland State Bank, for those that don't know, they are the major sponsor of the Home Expo from Three Rivers Association that's going on this Saturday.
Yes, this Saturday from 9 to 4.
So, Chris, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been in the mortgage business 28 years. I just joined Midland at the beginning of this year, and thank you for promoting the Expo for us. We're second year sponsoring it, and we're very happy to do so. I'd like to mention we are FDIC insured, equal credit housing lender, NMLS number 411141.
Awesome. So, and you said you've been in the business for with Midland for a little bit, but how long have you been in the business?
28 years.
28 years. That's right. You did
Okay,
say
a day
that.
or two.
So you've just been around a lot.
Been around a little.
So what sets Midland apart from other real estate lenders?
Honestly, it's the people. Everyone has kind of a pick up a shovel and put on a hard hat attitude day in and day out. You know you have a good culture when you don't talk about culture constantly. You know, everyone is just really upbeat, positive. Customers feel it when you walk into the branch. We're a full service bank, retail, commercial. I specialize in mortgage, wide variety of products, excellent pricing, excellent cost.
Nice.
Yeah, it makes a big difference when you have everybody wanting to be involved and everybody wanting to do the work. So what trends are you seeing for your buyers under the current market conditions?
Well, as you know, inventory's been a problem for the better part of it.
We were just discussing.
Yeah, about a decade or so. What we're focusing on is kind of on two different spectrums. Again, we offer a wide variety of products, conventional, jumbo, USDA, FHA. But what we're really trying to focus on one end, first-time home buyers, using a variety of down payment assistance programs, that we offer. We can get into detail on that. And then also new construction. So we have a terrific lot loan program that we offer, so you can buy the land, and a terrific construction to perm process that really walk the customers through that entire process, make it just a one-time deal that they can take care of that entire transaction. So that's a little bit more on the higher end that we're seeing that, but first-time home buyers is a big focus with us because then those customers, they grow with us. When they go to their second home, they're coming back to us. They create a banking relationship with us. They refer to us. So it's really good to get that first-time home buyer and then just have them make sure they have a good experience.
Great. So what are some of your, first home buyer programs that you work with?
Sure. We do a lot of IDA loans through Illinois Housing. Fannie Freddie offers Home Ready and Home Possible, which are 3% down programs. What I like about these programs is that there's home counseling assistance. You have to go through a home counseling class prior to closing. And it's not just about the loan. It really gets the home buyers educated and prepped for what it's like to be a homeowner. What to expect on utility bills, fixing up the house, yard care, just the things that they might not be thinking about as they're purchasing their first home. One thing that we've rolled out within the last 2 weeks is with WC4, the Will County Center Community of Concerns. We shortened it. They're offering a $25,000 forgivable grant for folks buying in Will County. 21 cities in Will County are eligible. Joliet, Crest Hill are just to name two, and that can be layered as well. So if they get another form of assistance, and with $25,000. Opens up a wide range of they could do. increase what they're looking for. It can lessen the financial burden of down payment. They can reallocate money somewhere else. So, terrific product that we're going to be talking about a lot at the expo on Saturday.
Nice. Yeah, I've been working with clients with the county, with those county programs, and I'll tell you what, it's a game changer for first-time buyers.
It really is. And what I like about the Will County Center, they literally bring the check to closing. they're part of a great closing experience, for the buyers.
Oh yeah, they come in.
Yeah,
and
they come in.
You know, the whole gig. It's
well, for a
great.
lot of people, this is the biggest transaction to be a part of, so it should be a celebration.
Absolutely. It's a big day. It's one of the biggest days in your lives is buying your home.
Absolutely.
It's the American dream. I mean, let's be honest. When you talk to most people, buying their own home still ranks as one of the top check boxes of the American dream.
Yeah.
It really is that quintessential piece that I own my own house. It is mine. And so they really want that, and it's kind of like I'm really an adult now. I mean, you see all this stuff. I'm adulting. You see all this stuff on social media and stuff, but when you look at what's going on, and you see a lot of people, once they buy their house, they truly feel like they're an adult,
Oh, yeah.
and they don't feel like the little kid anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you're putting roots down.
Yeah,
This
you are.
is a big thing for your family
Yeah.
and growing a family
Yeah.
and
Because let's be honest,
interconnecting with and networking with your community.
you care what happens in your neighborhood. You care what happens in your school district. You care what happens in your town because you're own part of that now. Where before it's important, but not maybe as important as a renter because, well, I'm probably going to be moving in another year or 2 years. Because, I mean, most renters usually stay in a property 2-3 years, and then they're on to the next one because they outgrow it, job, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So I want to know, what are some of the common mistakes borrowers make when they're applying for a home loan?
The biggest one is part of, I get in the first 5 minutes of an application with a client, and just did that this morning as well. Do not take out any credit once you apply for a loan. So we do a credit check up front. I tell folks, don't go out and start buying furniture. Don't take out a car lease. For the next 2-3 weeks, don't buy anything because right before closing, we do another credit check. And if we see credit that has been additional credit extended out, we have to go back to underwriting, which could cause delays or unfortunately could endanger that approval. So I just tell them, sit tight. You can, after the closing, take care of your furniture needs, do whatever you want to do for the next 2-3 weeks. Don't do anything in regards to your credit or the assets that you're allocating, for your purchase.
Do you find that that's a really common mistake, or?
Actually, it is.
It's interesting because I really preach it.
Yeah,
So
Well, people get excited. They just think, okay, my loan, I got my application, I'm conditionally approved. I'm going to be, they say I'll have my final approval in a week or so. So they start getting out ahead of themselves, which is understandable if they don't know. So we really take pride of that initial conversation is critical. With a client, it's the first 5 minutes of the conversation is critical. The first 5 days of the application is, if you do it right, it's the best 5 days. Get that app in, get it approved, start ordering appraisal and title, and then we sit back and wait for the closing date. So we really try to put on a really good customer experience for our borrowers.
awesome.
So we're talking to Chris Marconi from Midland State Bank. They are the sponsors of the Three Rivers Home Expo that's going on this Saturday. Doors open at 9 a.m.
9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
to 4 p.m. So, and there are a ton of things going on for kids and for families this year. So don't feel like, oh, it's just to learn about buying a house. It's actually home maintenance, it's home repair, it is buying, it is selling, anything that goes around the house. This is, a great little stop in, maybe not for all day, but stop in for an hour. There's going to be seminars going on all day long and all kinds of things.
All kinds of things. We have some fairy tale guests coming to visit. Mrs. Rachel will be there first thing in the morning. I believe she's going to be reading some books for the youngins. We have a kids' play area. We have Semino's Pizza and La Tequila serving Mexican food. We have a Candy and Corn is going to be there. He's going to be serving up treats. It's going to be a big deal. Big deal this year. And practically 50 vendors, right at 50 vendors that will be there to help and to talk to anybody wanting to talk about homes.
So getting back to Chris, I want to know, outside of, okay, don't apply for a loan, are there any other advice you'd give borrowers? Whether it's, and I want to quantify it, is there something specific you tell a first-time borrower, and is there something you tell a seasoned, someone going on their second or third loan, home? Is there anything else other than do not buy anything?
Well, I tell all borrowers to do that.
Not
Whether,
to buy anything.
Yes.
whether you're a first time or all of them.
Yes.
Every single one, because it might have been a bit since you took out a loan. No, we really try to dig through at the time of application. We get kind of granular, and to make sure about job history, where assets are at, and really we want to make sure that we validate all that information. So we try to ask a lot of penetrating questions, whether you're a first-time buyer or 10-time buyer, because you might uncover something. There might be something. Oh, I have this, or yes, I do have a second home. Well, we need that, to qualify for. So, got to make borrowers comfortable, so they just lay it all out there for you.
Yeah.
Ask really, penetrating, pertinent questions, and follow up with them, because you never know what might turn up. But also, you never might know that they might qualify for something that they might not have thought of. Going into the application process, instead they have an idea that they can do this, but I can do this. That helps in my search. I didn't know that was available. I didn't know about that product. So we just really take a deep dive into that. But again, no credit. Extended credit out until you're done.
Yeah. Well, and I've had issues with second and third time buyers to your point with your process, digging along, and then once you're asking those questions, they are reminded, I did co-sign for that loan for my kid's car, or we are on the house for my child, and it's come up, and that's a predicament for them.
Well, and now that you mention it, for example, a lot of people, they forget their current property's in a trust. And they want to do a trust again. Okay, well, what kind of trust? That's fine. Yeah. But we need to know that, so we properly, do the documentation at closing. So, yeah. It's just really taking a deep dive with the borrowers.
No.
And that's a good point, too, because some people don't think about it, but that conversation prompts them to start thinking in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
We even have a breakout session about wills and trusts at the Home Expo on Saturday. There's a good plug. Anyway.
I want to flip over, because most people don't realize the lender can also be an asset for the seller. So are there any programs or anything that you can do to help a seller in the market?
Absolutely. So when the house is listed, appropriately, you're getting multiple offers in quick. It's
in this market.
They're coming in hot and heavy. So due to timing factors, you may need a bridge loan, because the timing is just not lining up to exactly where you have it, with the potential buyer. Mm-hmm. So we do offer bridge loans. It is a 6-month short-term loan, interest only on there. There is a caveat: your home must be listed, with a realtor, to get a bridge loan. We need to know that you're on the go. So, but it's a great tool, because it gives some flexibility that if they can't sell their property in time for their buy, that's okay. That's okay. We can bridge them on over, and then it gives them a little bit more time, a little bit more flexibility on their move.
Yeah.
And the interest only portion of it is huge. So it's lessening a monthly debt that they'll take care of.
Oh yeah, because a big problem with sellers, because it's such a competitive market, they need to be non-contingent on sale or non-contingent on close. So by having a bridge loan, by being able to finance some of that, it puts them in a much better position to be able to make the
Exactly.
offers.
Yeah. So it puts them in a good position, but also gives them peace of mind that that they can still do what they need to do.
Sure.
All right, that's Chris Marconi. Chris, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We look forward to seeing you Saturday at the Three Rivers Home Expo, sponsored by Midland State Bank. All right, so I want to jump into numbers for Will County and really kind of do a deep dive today.
Okay.
And the reason why is we really haven't touched the county numbers yet, and the rest of the show we're going to be talking about the R word again, because
It's coming up a lot.
why you're seeing our market is excelling and still doing well, you are seeing some other markets really struggle. They are struggling right now, and so that's a huge aspect of what is going on. So right now the median sales price in Will County is $339,000. That is up 7.6% from last year, and it has been on a steady climb. Nothing huge, nothing major, just a steady climb.
Yeah, it's just a hill I can. It's an incline. It's not.
It's not a mountain.
It's not a mountain.
Not a mountain. And that's on the median price.
I could actually get up this hill.
Average price is the same. You're looking at a 339. Wait, that's still median. Come on, get me over the average. There we go. The average is 383. 538. That's a 7.2% increase from last year, and that's a more easier climb than the median price.
Yeah.
So we're going up at a fair market value. I like a 7% return on real estate. I know it's a little traditionally higher than normal, but
Yeah, that's
still
a little bit higher.
I'm when you're looking at a 3 to 4% as your traditional, that's a nice number, but it ain't 20 or 22%. So it's a really good aspect. The original list price is right now is $411,418. That's up 5.6% on the year over year. The median sales price is $359,900, up 7.5%. So I know everybody's worried about affordability and the prices going up, but at the same token, no homeowner wants to see their prices go down. And this is all on single family units, all types, resale. No new construction is in on these numbers.
Yeah, this is all traditional.
Yes. So.
Which, to me, reflects the fact that Will County is still affordable.
I think it's still affordable. I mean, you look at the median sales price for the country, we are below the median sales price for the entire country.
Yeah, quite a bit.
And I think the accolades that we offer as a community with our library districts, our park districts, our, other things going on. I mean, I just sat down getting ready to write a blog about the Taste of Joliet coming up. I mean, the Taste of Joliet has become a huge, huge music festival. It really has.
I don't go.
Oh, yeah, no, it's awesome. Friday night, they've got Billy Corgan. And his
Oh, really?
Yeah, opening up.
Oh, wow. That's a blast from the past.
I know. I mean, and there's a lot of blasts from the past. They're not getting the current artists, but they're getting amazing artists from back in the day coming in.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's a really good time. So, I mean, that's just one event of several that are happening throughout the community. You look at Catfish Days down in Wilmington. You look at,
well, everybody has their fests.
Yeah.
Everybody has a community fest. Canal Days and Plainfield Fest and Shorewood Days and,
Yeah.
Morris has Corn Fest and.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's just so much
big
going
deal.
on in our area.
Yeah.
It's really amazing. Median market time is 13 days. That is up 30%. 13 days.
Yeah.
We're up 30% on the median market time.
Yeah, what's average?
Average is 33 days, up 3.1%.
Okay.
So just kind of keeping that in mind. That kind of goes with the fact that, okay, if you have a move-in ready house, you're probably selling in 13 days. If
Yeah.
you have an ugly house, you're probably selling in a month, month and a half.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Last list price. All right? The percentage of purchase price compared to the list price at offer, they're getting 99.9%, down 0.6%. So there's a little negotiating room in there.
Yeah.
Median sales price, they're still getting 100% of ask on the median. Now comparing this, that was the last list price. The original list price, we're starting to see some price drops.
Mm-hmm.
Because the overpricing is really now starting to get forechecked. The average close price compared to the original list price, they're getting 98.9% on the average. That's 0.7.
Mm-hmm.
On the median, we're still at 100%.
Yeah.
Contract to close, I mean, that's really lenders. That's 37 days on the average. On the median, you're looking 34 days, which is pretty consistent. Listings to contract, average listing to contract days, you're looking at 22 days to contract, 9 days on the median. Month supply for Will County. This is a big number. This is the number you want to watch because this tells you what type of market it is. Buyer's market, seller's market, neutral market. Month supply is 1.3 months. We are still considered a seller's market.
Heavily a seller's market.
Yeah. I know we're getting into some issues on the overpricing and some price drops and some people having to challenge and refocus. But you're technically still a seller's market. You just have to make sure it's priced correctly.
Yes. It's all about pricing correctly. Really taking an honest look at the property and the comps and pricing accordingly.
Because here's the reason why. There are 24.1% more homes for sale this March than there were last year. The adjusted 12 months puts it at 823 units. Okay? So homes for sale at the end of March was up 24.1%. New listings is up 11.8%. There were 10,469 new listings on a 12-year basis from March to March. Under contract is up 4.8%. So we're getting new listings and we're getting more traffic.
We're going under contract. The buyers are out there.
Yeah. Which is a good sign because closings are actually increasing. We are up 3.7% on closings.
Mm-hmm.
All right, showings to contract. You're looking at 11 showings on the median to contract. You're looking at 15 showings on the average. And showings per listing, you're looking at 8.3 showings per listing. Now that is down. The showings per listing is down compared to March of last year. That means there's less demand than last year. But again,
8 showings per listing on average.
When you look at it, it's very gradual. It's been going down since July of last year. It was only 9.1.
Yeah. And
So I'm not really freaking out. You go back to the peak where it was 12.
In 2022.
And let's go back 10 years. And I want to see what was it in 2019 in a normal market. It was 5.6 in February. In March. 5.6. We are still showing more. So demand is higher than it was in 2019.
Right.
So, all right. I want to really get into a couple different articles.
Not seeing a bump there.
No. I want to get into some articles pertaining to recession, market crashes, and stuff like that. after the break. Keep it here with Get Real with Eddie.
Welcome to the Lions Club. Being a lion means knowing that kindness matters. We believe in changing the world by serving the needs of our local communities. More than 1.4 million lions around the world are responding to local and global challenges with kindness and care. Come volunteer with us. Your Lions journey starts here. The Crest Hill Lions Club invites you to reach out to your local Lions Club to learn about how you can be a part of a community and bringing passionate, kind-hearted people together to serve local needs. They build relationships that lead to opportunities. In short, when lions serve, life improves, and the community grows. Grow with us. The Crest Hill Lions Club would also like to thank our sponsors who help with our yearly events, such as the car show and picnic at St. Joe's Park, and those who attend and support our Easter egg hunts, Shanahan Bingo, and many more events. The Crest Hill Lions Club meets the first and third Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. For more information on being a lion, go to lionsclub.org to start your journey today. That's lionsclub.org.
And Get Real with Eddie. I want to bring to your attention the Herbert Trackman Planetarium at Joliet Junior College. My son loves this. They offer free shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. It's perfect for stargazers. The show provides excellent astronomical instruction and entertainment for no charge. That's right, it is free on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. The planetarium features a 30-foot diameter dome, a new OmniStar digital planetarium projector. During the shows, you can enjoy sky tours using the projector and PowerPoint presentations covering a wide range of astronomical topics. For more information, please visit jjc.edu/planetarium. And for you educators out there, they are open for field trip bookings. So go to jjc.edu/planetarium.
Are you ready to make your next move in real estate? Look no further than Exit Real Estate Specialists, your innovative leader in the industry. At Exit, we're not just about transactions. We're about building relationships and fulfilling dreams. Step into a community of empathetic, well-trained professionals dedicated to your success. Our Exit Real Estate professionals are more than just agents. They're your trusted advisors and allies in the journey of buying, selling, or investing in real estate. Whether you're selling your home or searching for your next investment, trust Exit to provide an excellent experience from start to finish. Our commitment to putting people first means you receive personalized attention and support, ensuring your real estate goals are met with success. Call us today at 815-823-5478 or visit exitrealestatespecialist.com to learn more. Exit Real Estate Specialists, exceeding your expectations every step of the way.
You made a smart move to Get Real with Eddie, helping you make your
right.
next smart move into your next home.
Really, what was I had an article I was looking for, and I can't find it. All right, that's fine. So, do you think the housing markets are about to crash? That's kind of the question right now. Do you think the market's about to crash? Where is your view on this, Nancy?
I don't see a big crash. There's a lot of volatility in our world right now. I get that. Financial volatility.
Yeah, there is.
But I don't see a crash because people are still working. People still need homes. So I'm not seeing a big change in that fact in the foreseeable future. And that's what's going to keep the home market strong.
So,
right. Yeah.
Cleveland, Clever Real Estate, 70% Americans are worried about a housing crash in 2025. I don't see it because, as I just said, our demand is higher in our marketplace. Now, I'm not saying that it couldn't happen in some markets, and it is happening in some markets. Some markets are struggling. But we have more demand right now than we did in 2019.
Yeah.
And we have less supply. We have less supply and more demand than 2019 in Will County. We didn't look at this on a city-by-city level. We looked at it at the county level. Okay? Mark Fleming, chief economist at First American, talking today's inventory, keeping the housing market from crashing, says this: there's just generally not enough supply. There are more people than housing inventory. It's Econ 101. And it's true. It is completely true. There is not enough supply.
The need for housing is still strong. People need to live somewhere.
So looking at the supply of homes for the sale, it's improving, but it's still low. Active monthly listing count in the thousands puts us around 890,000 year over year.
And this is nationally.
Nationally, yes. This is from Realtor.com. In 2019, we were coming into just under 1.2 million homes at the same time frame. Same 17 and 18 were just below those numbers. 2020, we had about 900,000. So about where we're at, just above where we're at right now.
Yeah, we have less homes in March of 2025 than we did in March of 2020.
Yeah.
That one sink in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is a huge aspect of demand right now. Now, is demand as high as it was 2 years ago? No, it's not. But it's higher than it was in a normal market. 2 years ago was a COVID market. You had interest rates at 3%. You sent me a video talking about it's not affordable to buy a house, and we need to sit down and go through that aspect of it.
Yeah, this girl that made that video pushes herself as a good financial
Advisor. Yes.
And I found that video because she was kind of slamming buying housing, but what she didn't talk about was how much rentals have gone up.
Yeah.
And she didn't paint the whole picture.
She talked about interest rates and pricing both being high. All right? And interest rates are at a 5-10 year high? Maybe a 20-year high? I don't know. I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah.
I mean, they're high.
They're high.
We haven't seen rates at 7%, like they've been at in the last 2 years, probably for better than a decade.
And housing has gone up.
Prices are at an all-time high.
So, but what she doesn't talk about is rental prices have gone up too. And that's where I think that's her biggest fall in her argument was, all housing has gone up.
She was trying to make an argument that it was cheaper to rent a house than it was to buy.
To be a renter in general.
In general. And I think the aspect that she misses is, yes, I could find a house, and we did quick numbers, at $2,000 a month versus buying at $2,500 a month. And I'm going to save myself $6,000 by renting than what I'd make out in a house payment.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is on a 5% return on that $6,000, I'm making $300.
Yeah.
All right. Let me do quick. I want to say a $300,000 house, right?
Sure.
All right. So $300,000 house. Need to hit this button there. All right. Let's just do a 3% down, conventional loan.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
We're going to say 7% interest.
Yep.
All right. Taxes, let's say $10,000 in taxes.
Yeah, just for
Yep.
giggles.
All right. So let's say the PMI on that is a 0.6 multiplier. All right. I'm completely guessing on the PMI because it's going to depend on your own personal situation. $1,200 a year on whatchamacallit. $1,200 a year on insurance. So on a $300,000 house, you're looking at $3,019.36 on the scenario we quoted. All right, so that's not. We need a $2,500 payment, so we're going to drop to $250,000. All right, and yes, there are $250,000 houses you can find in this market.
In our market, yes.
Yeah,
not very many.
No,
but
you
in our
can look at a
market.
duplex. You can look at a townhome. You can, let's say it's a duplex. Let's say you're looking at something that has association fees. And what do you think? $250 for an association fee?
Sure.
All right.
That's a good general.
So now you're at 29, 21. All right. Now there are some single family houses, small bungalows in Joliet you can pick up for $250.
Yeah.
They're out there.
$250, $275.
Yeah.
I see a lot of $275s.
So the aspect is, okay, you're saving what you're saving, but that $250,000 house, all right, times a 5% return. Now, keep in mind, Will County just was showing us a 7% year over year.
So let's be conservative about it and say 5.
We're saying 5. Get a 5% return on the stock market, which I think that's aggressive.
Yeah.
With your $6,000, I think that's aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
But a 5% return year over year, I think is you're making $12,500. Your equity has gone now, and that's not including what you've paid to principal.
Yeah.
So this aspect of affordability.
Affordability. And she was pushing, too. She was pushing that you could take your money and invest elsewhere. Well, where are you going to get the return that you get in housing over the long haul?
And that depends on what market you're in. Our market, you're getting the return. There are a couple there's some markets that are struggling right now. I'm not arguing that. And that's what we're talking about is there's a recession going on in housing. I am not seeing it overall. I am seeing it in the COVID states. And now when I say the COVID states, these are the states that people ran from and ran to. The states they ran to are now paying the price.
Yes.
Because
their markets went up. Their homes went up extremely high.
Extremely high. They were having better than 20% years.
We're talking 60%,
Yes.
40, 50, 60%.
And you have a lot of companies and businesses doing recalls now.
Yeah.
You need to be back in the office. And so those recalls are really driving the individuals that are having to sell in those states.
Yeah.
Because you can't now live in Florida and work in New York. It just don't work anymore.
No.
So Business Insider reports economists who study the housing market conditions generally do not expect a crash in 2025 or beyond unless the economic outlook changes. And I know there's everybody's got their view on the tariffs and everything's going on with that. Right now on the short term, nothing's really happened. Things are still just getting implemented and whatever. We're not going to know what's truly going on for 6 months. And I know markets hate uncertainty, and that's causing the hesitation. My advice is, I think the worst case could be interest rates go up, not down. Buy now and lock your price in and your costs in today. Because if rates go down and you refinance, you're going to look like the all-star, because once everything gets straightened out and figured out, you're going to see a mad rush to real estate. A mad rush to real estate. And you're going to see prices start climbing again because we still have the lack of supply. And that is pretty much in most places.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's with low inventory, it's supply and demand. So
All right, let's take a quick
that
break.
won't stop any day soon.
Let's take a break. When we get back after the break, I want to talk about, we might touch on that, but again, asking price. I want to talk about, is the asking price compelling? Keep it here with Get Real with Eddie.
It's Eddie Ruettiger from Exit Real Estate Specialists. And Get Real with Eddie. I want to bring to your attention the Herbert Trackman Planetarium at Joliet Junior College. My son loves this. They offer free shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. It's perfect for stargazers. The show provides excellent astronomical instruction and entertainment for no charge. That's right, it is free on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. The planetarium features a 30-foot diameter dome, a new OmniStar digital planetarium projector. During the shows, you can enjoy sky tours using the projector and PowerPoint presentations covering a wide range of astronomical topics. For more information, please visit jjc.edu/planetarium. And for you educators out there, they are open for field trip bookings. So go to jjc.edu/planetarium.
Lions Club. Being a lion means knowing that kindness matters. We believe in changing the world by serving the needs of our local communities. More than 1.4 million lions around the world are responding to local and global challenges with kindness and care. Come volunteer with us. Your Lions journey starts here. The Crest Hill Lions Club invites you to reach out to your local Lions Club to learn about how you can be a part of a community and bringing passionate, kind-hearted people together to serve local needs. They build relationships that lead to opportunities. In short, when lions serve, life improves, and the community grows. Grow with us. The Crest Hill Lions Club would also like to thank our sponsors who help with our yearly events, such as the car show and picnic at St. Joe's Park, and those who attend and support our Easter egg hunts, Shanahan Bingo, and many more events. The Crest Hill Lions Club meets the first and third Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. For more information on being a lion, go to lionsclub.org to start your journey today. That's lionsclub.org.
Are you ready to make your next move in real estate? Look no further than Exit Real Estate Specialists, your innovative leader in the industry. At Exit, we're not just about transactions. We're about building relationships and fulfilling dreams. Step into a community of empathetic, well-trained professionals dedicated to your success. Our Exit Real Estate professionals are more than just agents. They're your trusted advisors and allies in the journey of buying, selling, or investing in real estate. Whether you're selling your home or searching for your next investment, trust Exit to provide an excellent experience from start to finish. Our commitment to putting people first means you receive personalized attention and support, ensuring your real estate goals are met with success. Call us today at 815-823-5478 or visit exitrealestatespecialist.com to learn more. Exit Real Estate Specialists, exceeding your expectations every step of the way.
Doing everything for you except the moving, and be glad. It's Get Real with Eddie.
All right, so we have seen, and you weren't here, but the report came out last week.
Oh.
And I don't know, maybe if you read the article or not, but we are now back up to 2019 price reduction levels.
Oh, I did not see that.
Yeah, price reductions nationally on housing have now hit 2019 levels.
Interesting.
Which means we're seeing agents, sellers, whatever, pricing the houses higher than what the market response would be. Now, I do think some of that is going to be falling away because I think some of it was a winter market aspect because of market uncertainty and weather conditions. You saw a lot of people dropping price trying to get the quick sale. Yeah.
I also think there's a little bit of my neighbor back 3 years ago got X amount for their house, so I should be able to sell it for YZ amount now.
Yes.
And it's not, the market doesn't work that way.
Well, in some aspects it does. Okay, so, you sold for $300,000. And I can go in and look that, all right, well, the market's gone up 5% a year, each year for the last 3 years, so you should sell 15% higher. All right? But that's a range of where you should be.
Not.
And you the problem is you don't have the exact same product. Even if you have the exact same model, exact same home, exact same everything, you still have two different locations. And it might be a street over. It might be a block over. It may be, facing.
Well, and you know
something,
what?
you know?
It's not the exact buyer pool either.
And that's the second aspect of it. These buyers are different than 3 years ago. The buyers are different. They are being more conservative. They are being more hesitant because
Because they're not paying 3%, they're paying 7% now.
they're paying 7% interest, but not just that. They're looking at people talking about, whoa, the housing market might crash. Well, do I really want to buy a house? Yes, you want to buy a house because the housing market should not crash.
Yeah, and that's one thing you can count on is you know what your monthly payment is going to be.
Yes.
You got your house and this is how much it's going to cost you on the monthly. Where everything else might be falling around you, at least you know that. So
yeah, in the number of price cuts for March, we're back to a normal level. Actually, a little bit higher than before. We had 302,260 price cuts in March of 2025.
And again, I think it goes to show, because that is a national number, these, what you called COVID towns, markets that had issues, and things are coming down because it's a different market.
And I think we should talk about it this way. I think these are the post-COVID markets. You know what I'm saying? Because the COVID markets were California and New York, and you had individuals fleeing California and New York to go to Arizona and Florida.
Well, any big cities. They were moving.
They were moving. And so now you have the post-COVID where they're moving back. So it's not the COVID market, it's the post-COVID market.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that's part of what's going on. And you've got 30% of the realtors out there right now have only been licensed since about 2022.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because now,
So they don't know how to... They're just used to going, oh, okay, we're going to put it on the market, and this one sold for this one, so I'm going to write for another 10% more, and then I'm going to turn around and we're going to expect to get an offer 5% higher than that. No. It don't work that way. You need to be pricing on the money.
Yes.
So you need to have it priced perfectly. You want to be getting 3 showings a week, if not 5. And you should have an offer, if not 2, within the first 7 to 10 days.
Yeah. If after 10 days you don't have an offer, you need to start having a heart-to-heart with your agent.
Yeah, you're getting close because at 2 weeks you should be dropping price.
Right.
So you have to be paying attention to those market conditions. This is why we read the sales data for each town every week. It's not because we want to hear the numbers. We want you to know the numbers. You need to look at that data on a macro level and a micro level. So a CMA is a micro version. All right? Here's your house. Here's 3 houses just like you that have sold in the last 6 months within 1 mile of your property. That is a micro. That is a CMA. But a macro is, okay, what is the town doing?
Yeah. What is the county doing?
Yeah.
We just did the county numbers.
Yeah. So, has there been a new business? Arizona and Phoenix, their market is actually doing quite well and very competitive. Mm-hmm. Because they have 2 chip manufacturers that have moved into the market. So is there new businesses that have come in? Is there new people transferring into the market?
That's going to make a difference.
Has a business closed in the market? Will County CED exists because you have a group of private business owners that got together when they closed Caterpillar in Joliet and said, we are not going to have this happen again. We are not going to have a community that is based on one business, and our success and failure is based on that business.
Yeah.
I mean, so that is a aspect that, you need to know about the community. Most of our businesses were pretty diverse in the area. but keep that data in mind. So the biggest thing I want to leave this with is the idea, well, I need to leave wiggle room to negotiate.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's, no.
What it does is turns away the actual buyer that would buy the property. So you don't get offers because you're priced too high. You're pricing yourself in a price range where there's granite counters and you don't have granite counters. Or it's a 3-car garage and you have a 2-car garage. When you start pricing yourself up, you have to have those features for that price. There is no such thing as wiggle room. You're pricing it correctly to get offers quick, fast, and hopefully multiple, especially with this low inventory.
Yes.
So Bankrate states a knowledgeable agent will understand a fair market value in your area, how much your house is worth, and how much you might reasonably expect to get in the current market. This is why you work with professional. This is why you call myself, or you call Nancy, or you call Chris at Midland. And they get you set up, and we get you on a plan to fit your needs for what you need and how we take care of you. That wraps it up for Get Real with Eddie. Don't forget, check us out online 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at getrealwitheddie.com, talking about your largest investment, your home.
Thanks for listening. Eddie Ruettiger is the designated managing broker and owner of Exit Real Estate Specialists, located at 2750 Caton Farm Road, Joliet. License number 481014247. For questions, call Eddie at 815-823-5478.